For the new car buyer who is jumping into the world of electrified for the first time, the choice commonly comes down to, should I go for a hybrid or do I try out those new full EVs? But with a new player in town, Lynk Co, the answer is yes. First, a little bit of history. If you've never heard of the brand before, Lynk Co was founded in 2016 as a partnership between the Geely Auto Manufacturing Group and Volvo. Basically how it works is it's a near premium brand where the Swedes do the design work and pitch in with the engineering, share their technology, and the Chinese build the car in China to keep the price down. The story goes that the executives thought about it while they were in a taxi on the way to work or wherever, and they maybe saw all these billboards, these lifestyle billboards, and they say, hey, why not we combine two names, make it sound very lifestyle-y. So think of Abercrombie and Fitch, Pull and Bear, and Smith & Wesson. Bang! Anyway, this is the 01, and it's called a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. Like a normal series or parallel hybrid like a Kicks or Corolla Cross, it pairs an electric motor with an internal combustion engine to save on gas and cut down on your emissions. But the difference with the PHEV is that you can go a lot farther in full EV mode. For example, with the Camry Hybrid, if you went full EV, you could probably go a kilometer or two at most before the battery loses enough juice and then it has to turn on the combustion engine. With this one, it can go a lot farther. On the highway, it can go up to 88 kilometers in full EV mode. In the city, it goes up to 69 kilometers. That's pretty far. The way it does that is because it has a 60 kilowatt motor, that's about 80 horsepower, paired with a 17.6 kilowatt hour battery. That's pretty big. It doesn't take that long to fully recharge it either. With around 15 kilometers estimated range left, it only takes 4 hours to get it back to 100%. With zero range, you will need 5 hours to charge from a 230 volt outlet. What about the combustion engine? It has an inline 3-cylinder turbocharged gasoline unit that's good for 180 horsepower and 265 newton meters of torque. It's mated to a 7-speed dual clutch automatic. Full system output is 261 horsepower and 425 newton meters, more than enough for the majority of crossover buyers. If you're really light on the gas, Lynk Co claims that this car can reach 800 kilometers on a single tank. Because it's a plug-in hybrid, you don't get the range anxiety that you normally would with a full electric vehicle. But because it also has an electric motor, you can really stretch your tank budget. I've been driving this for about 4 days now, and I've been seeing better than 33 kilometers to a liter. And I haven't actually been hypermiling. I'm just driving it like I would a normal vehicle. Pretty good. So will it save you some real money though? Because electricity also costs money. Well, we did some number crunching, and feel free to correct us in the comments, but here's what we found out. With a 17.6 kilowatt hour battery and the cost of electricity currently at around 11.4 pesos per kilowatt hour, and assuming you only get 60 to 69 kilometers on a full battery charge, that works out to a little over 4 pesos per kilometer. Okay, now what about if you're getting 10 kilometers to a liter on your gas? Gas is around 70 pesos per kilometer right now, so that works out to 7 pesos per kilometer. 4 pesos per kilometer with electric, 7 pesos per kilometer with gas. Yeah, I'd definitely say you're saving some money here. Now, as for this interior, Peter Horbury is said to have had a hand in the design, so he worked for Volvo for many years, so you can really see the European influence. Minimalist design, cool shades and hues, nice textures. I like the upholstery because it's not leather and it's not plain fabric. They call it Econyle, which is a material made from recycled fishing lines and used plastics. It looks and feels nice. It's a welcome change from the usual leather. So how does it ride? To be honest, it's okay, but not really outstanding. The thing is, the suspension isn't really up to keeping up with all the power that the system makes. It's between the tires and suspension. It's got a soft and comfortable ride, good steering, good brakes, but you can really feel the Chinese preference for soft suspensions with the way it's set up for rebound control, or more correctly, lack of rebound control, because the moment you hit a bump or a pothole, the car just pogos up and down for a few seconds. So in that respect, it reminds me of the Geely influence. Now, as a crossover, it's nice, of course it is, but there's nothing here that you can see in other similarly priced crossovers these days. You get this big touchscreen LCD, you can set it up several ways, and then you get a full suite of driver aids, very useful: lane keeping, blind spot warning, traffic sign recognition, adaptive cruise control, very useful. It takes some practice to familiarize with everything, and it's got Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And one thing that I really wish I could figure out is really how to set the clock, because the CarPlay clock syncs fine with my phone, but there's still one clock here that can't be adjusted. I just can't figure it out. And neither can the people at Lynk Co, apparently. But from the driver's seat, the visibility is very good. I can see the flare of the fenders and the headlamps here, so I have a good idea of where the front ends. But the real treat is really how the drivetrain feels. When you're in full electric mode, it's just so silent but very torquey, and you can really sneak up on your neighbors, and it's just really cool, very futuristic. In hybrid mode, pretty smooth. You barely hear the engine, and when you're in power mode, well, the engine is snappy, and you get all of that power, all 262 horses. But of course, it's not really a car I would look forward to for a fast Sunday drive in the mountains, because the suspension just isn't up to it. It's not made for twisties. And it's also useful. With the second row up, cargo volume is 466 liters. Put the second row down and you get 1,213. Not bad. It also has a power tailgate, so loading at the back is a lot easier. Now the price. In Europe, they have a novel way of selling the car. They have a direct-to-consumer model, and they even have a subscription scheme where you pay a monthly fee. And then if you somehow change your mind someday, then you stop paying and then they take the car back from you. Here in the Philippines, that will probably never happen. You either buy it outright or you get it through a lease as a company car, something like that. And for that, you will need 2.338 million. If you're allergic to China, and I totally get that, a Lynk Co might be more appealing to you than, say, a Chery or a Haval, because the design and engineering, a lot of the engineering is still sourced from Volvo, from Sweden, while the manufacturing is sourced in China. Because let's face it, if the manufacturing was also sourced from Europe, it would definitely cost a lot more than 2.338 million. There's only one showroom right now, and it's in Alabang. But if you like what you see and you want a nice, well-built car that will get you very far on a single tank of gas, we highly recommend that you check out this car, the Lynk Co 01.